Chapter 15. Plainview, Texas, Saturday evening, 8:27 p.m. Central Standard Time. As Marci finished the dramatic conclusion of the Finkles' Mayan adventure, she stared pointedly across the table at Bill, eyebrows raised and lips pursed. Jim and Alice were silent, quite obviously awestruck by the tale. "I was not cheering for your death, Marci," Bill explained with a dismissive wave. "I thought it was a concert, and I was coming to rescue you. You know that." "So you say," she answered, adding quietly, "but I know what I saw." Bill and Marci jumped as Jim slapped his palms on the table, exclaiming, "This is magnificent." "Absolutely magnificent. I knew that clock was special, didn't I say?" He nudged Bill. "You most certainly did not," Bill answered dryly, defiantly sipping his wine, while Marci changed the topic to the price of beef. The evening ended convivially enough, with promises of dinner at the Sanders next month to hear more about the time machine. Not 2 weeks after the dinner during which they disclosed the great secret of time travel, the Finkles went sightseeing in ancient Egypt, having taken to short weekend tourist trips while becoming more sure-footed with the clock, though still ignoring the un-YouTubeable Faritude setting. But we'll get to that later. This was usually done after dinner at Applebee's on a Friday night to avoid jet lag upon their return. Therefore, while witnessing the final touches on the construction of the famous Sphinx in the sandy lowlands of ancient Egypt, who should the Finkles spy? Why, the Sanders, standing not 5 feet away. Egypt, Wednesday afternoon, 2470 BC. "Surprise!" the Sanders yelled in unison, throwing their arms up like cheerleaders. Both were dressed head to toe in khaki. "Isn't this crazy?" Alice gushed, fanning her face. She goosed Jim in the ribs, adding triumphantly, "See, I told you it was them." And Jim said, "No, it couldn't be." "But it is, and here we all are. What are the odds?" "At least 1 in a million." Jim nodded, a goofy smile lighting his typically dour face. "I did. What are the odds? It's like running into someone from your hometown at Disney World. Am I right? Just delightful." Noting the look of shock on Bill and Marci's faces, Alice smiled knowingly. "We've been meaning to tell you. I guess now's the time." The Sanders then rather smoothly launched into a fairly logical explanation for their rather unbelievable appearance. How Alice's distant Aunt Penelope had died of tuberculosis, leaving them this gorgeous little mantle-top cuckoo clock in her will. And because of the Finkles' wondrous discovery of their own inheritance, they too had checked their inherited clock just in case. And what do you know? Also a time machine. So after a few brief forays into the past to try it out, here were the Sanders, right beside the Finkles, and right when. The four stood in the hot Egyptian afternoon sun, the sounds of thousands of men straining against their ropes and joists, their shouts and cries filling the air around them. Bill shuffled his feet. Marci looked at her watch, the day suddenly just a bit less enticing. Alice cleared her throat as Jim offered, "Well, it was great seeing you guys. I guess we'll be ambling on. We wanted to find some street food and do a bit of shopping." "We're going on our way too, but call us about next Saturday," Marci shrugged, exchanging a very awkward hug with Alice, where both women first leaned the same way, then the other, finally settling for a partial side embrace. The fact that this never struck the Finkles as odd was odd in and of itself, but they never questioned it, like taxes or Christmas. The Sanders seemed sincere enough when they related their news, and they had been their neighbors for almost 6 years. Later, at their monthly dinner, the couples conjectured, over white wine spritzers, what this momentous discovery of time travel meant for the world, and the odds of other people out there having clocks in their homes that turned out to be time machines. Yet after that, the competitive fire between the two couples seemed to burn a bit brighter. The monthly dinners rapidly descending into escalating show and tells, where each couple tried to one-up the other's adventures and daring do's. Bill prowled the house, checking under and behind every innocuous appliance for signs of time travel components. Yet he never discovered anything, except his flayed flip-flops, which he thought he'd lost in Central America.